Hi, hello, welcome to the video, to this series. We will be reading Berserk. I will be reading Berserk. And this series is specifically for a friend of mine who will not read the series unless I read it to him. So, here we are. I've been kind of itching to do a rereading of Berserk. This will be my fourth time reading it. So I'm not a first timer. I know what's going to be coming and what's ahead. And if you're a first time reader or listener, I hope you enjoy. I think there are many other series out there that do this. But, hey, here's my take on it. Berserk is my favorite series of all time. And we'll be reading in chapters, not volumes, though. I do recommend you go buy it. So you can have, the nice handheld pages right up in front of you. Spoilers, don't look. It's a phenomenal series. It is a dark fantasy, though there is blood, gore, violence, sexual violence. So it is not for the faint of heart, but the series I think is godlike. It is absolutely amazing. And once you look past all that, because Berserk is not just the blood and the gore. It's a story about friendship, love, loss, betrayal, forgiveness, healing, and like I said, it's truly phenomenal. It knocks everything else out of the water, in my opinion, from what I've seen and read and watched. So I hope you enjoy. We'll be reading these by chapter to keep them kind of short and sweet. Yeah, so let's begin. So we start out here. We have Berserk One Volume One. We have a guy, a swordsman, it seems. Got his pauldrons out. He's got a cool grip looking, a crossbow, and some bolts. Written by Kentaro Miura. Rest in peace. He will be missed. It's unfortunate, but his series remains, and it's fantastic. Berserk. All right, we have a man here. Seems cut up and hoisted up. Some gashes across his chest, and he's looking down. Could be dead, bleeding out. I'm not sure. The contents: the Black Swordsman. So we're gonna be reading today. And boom, first panel. We have a man and a woman going to town, dogging out right by the fire. And she's gripping his arm. Yes, yes. Screeching out, and her jaw is unhinging. And it looks to be some kind of, her eyes, her mouth are now, monstrous. And she's reaching out over him. He's going to town. He still isn't noticing. He's too enthralled. Boom. Monstrous grasp reaching over him, and she's looking at him on just crazy ass tongue, just this disgusting, abhorred back. Looks like a mix of bugs and roots and tentacles coming out from the back of her. You fell into my trap, fool. She locks onto his butt, gripping, and she's very grotesque looking face. It's like, this is your last taste of heaven before I send you to hell. Our guy here grabs her by her face and shoves something into her mouth. Looks like his arm. The only one trapped is you, bitch. He's kind of grimacing, his eyes whited out, and just kind of an eerie effect. I don't read Japanese, so I can't tell you what's going on, but I am assuming some kind of loading or clicking noise is happening. Boom! Kind of metagaming here. I know what's going on. So there's the mountains, the trees. He whips over his cape, kind of sweating a little bit. He looks back, and a little fire burning, and she's looking up, it seems. And she's arm over, burnt, blown to bits, most likely. Now we go ahead, see a castle in the distance. It's a field. Our swordsman here is walking into the keep, the area, looking around. You see knights, carriages, Looks like you can see a closer picture of the knight itself and a beggar on the ground. Looks like he has, some sort of injury. And he's walking by. He sees a cage. He looks into it and see a child. Probably young women, young kids in there. Slaves, perhaps prisoners, not sure. Looks back at him. Ellipses, doesn't say anything. Walks forward. And ka-ching, it looks like a bar. Some ladies out front at night. Kind of like, ooh, hee, looking at him. And the bar, chink. Inside the bar, it looks like some tiny individuals getting stuff thrown at them. Damn. Oh, you missed. So looks like some bandits or something. And here we have a fairy or an elf here. Stop squirming around. How am I supposed to hit you? Says the bandit. Him and his friends are kind of like laughing, gallivanting it. I feel sorry for that elf. Individuals in the bar. There's nothing we can do about it. Just kind of looking, feel bad for this guy. Not even the Lord Mayor can lay a hand on the men of Coca Castle. Best not to get involved. Hey, here comes the next one. So, individuals belonging, probably the vassals of this lord. They throw another dagger. The swordsman here goes, I'm going to mess up your shop a bit. Puts a coin on the counter. Huh? Reaches back. The barsman, looks up, he exclaims, and it looks like it's a crossbow with some bolts. Just all in that one hand. Damn, he's gripping it. Bring it on, fathead, says the elf. Why don't you untie me? I'll gnaw right through your arteries. I'm going to stuff those words right back down your throat. Now stop wiggling. No. He starts freaking out, panicking. He was all talk. Chunk. Bolt goes straight through this guy's skull. Kind of goes limp there, like drool. Blood splatters on the wall. What? Him and his buddies are like, huh? Exclaiming, looking around. Igor! Bastard, who the hell? One of the guys starts unsheathing. Ching, 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 ching. More bolts start shooting out rapidly, coming from the swordsman. One guy gets shot in his eye and his throat. Another guy, eye, 2 in the throat, 2 in the body. And the one dude who didn't even draw a sword yet, just looks at his partner's fall. Ah! He has a sword drawn. Gunsman. The swordsman in the back, his face shadowed in darkness. Looks like he reloads his crossbolt on his mechanical arm. He looks over menacingly at the remaining bandit or vassal. The elf just looks off in awe. Everyone in the bar in fear. Another bolt, but straight through this guy's nose, right through the bridge of it. He screams as he's grabbing his face. And due to the bolt now in his nose, swordsman over here walks up and grabs it by the butt of the arrow. And he's grabs it. Elf, that's gotta hurt. He's holding his nose. You're one of the thugs from Coca Castle, aren't you? Says the bandit. Our swordsman here shoves his arm and the bolt onto the table. Answer me. Yes, sir. All right, then. I suppose you can deliver a message to your boss for me. What message? He's kind of flicking the arrowhead. Ting, ting. The Black Swordsman has come. That's all. The Black Swordsman steps a foot. Behind you! Someone trying to make an approach at our swordsman here. He grabs back. Grabs hold of the sword. Lifts it up. Unsheaths it. It's huge. And his face is enshadowed. One eye white. Swings it down on the guy that's approaching him. Cuts him clean in half. Blood splurting. Going everywhere over the bar. The sword is huge. The cape has a nice fluid motion. Body tumbles over. Over the patrons. Onto the floor. Blood splattering. Guys all look around. The elf shocked as well. And the narrator, I'm presuming, it was much too big to be called a sword. There it is. Blood dripping. Massive, thick, heavy, and far too rough. Indeed, it was like a heap of raw iron. Sheaths it on his back. It's huge. It's like encompassing the whole size of his body. I'm counting on you. Looks back to the guy on the table. Excuse me. Hey, wait a second. Don't leave me here. Aw, man. He walks out. The elf is still tied up. Hey, wait up! Well, you got free, apparently. Listen, if you're gonna save someone, you don't just leave them tied up like that. You're supposed to follow through to the end, you know? Say, that's quite a sword you got there. Or should I call it a slab? Ellipses. Swordsman here is clear on just ignoring the fairy. Oh yeah, I'm Puck. Nice to meet you. Very whimsical face. You see, I was in a troupe of traveling performers, but we were attacked by some of those bums. Since then, I've been locked up in a bird's cage and soaked in a wine bottle. It's a wonder I'm still alive, that's for sure. Swordsman just keeps walking, ignoring him. The town was also attacked a number of times, but the Lord Mayor made a deal with the thugs. In exchange for tribute, they promised that they'd leave the town free, and there'd be no more raids. But after this, I guess they'll start attacking again. Swordsman just ellipses, doesn't give a fuck. You know, if I were you, I'd get out of town fast. I mean, they catch you, they'll cut you to pieces. And it's not just the thugs either. Slap. Ah! Ow, that hurt. What'd you do that for? Swordsman just slaps him. Probably his butt, I don't know. Just try to land on his shoulder. Don't touch me. I'll squash you. What? What is it with you? A person shows you a little concern and you respond with that stuck-up attitude of yours? Two footsteps approach. Not just two. What is this? A whole band of people. Aiming their guns and weapons at him. Guns. Crossbows. See? I told you. Swordsman here looking menacingly at them. Well, gotta go. Zips away. Damn. Meanwhile, at the castle. Some slashing, some whipping, I'm assuming. In a dungeon. Blood dripping down a foot. Dun dun dun. It's our guy here. Just like in the very beginning. Foretold, foreshadowed. You're a stubborn bastard, you know that? Got probably the torturer, the guy got like some stocks, some knives, torturing tools. Ain't you even gonna make a little noise, huh? Spits blood on him. You bastard! Stop. That's enough for now. My lord. That stockpile of weapons, it belongs to this man? Yes, Lord Mayor. Enough weapons to start his own war. Crazy bastard. You? Are you a mercenary? Our swordsman kind of gives him a glance, a glare. The priest, I'm assuming, looking at him. Complete stranger to these parts, you've done a terrible thing. Do you have any idea of what you've done? Because you murdered those men, this town may very well be destroyed. Our swordsman grimaces. Are you telling me that those guards standing there are scarecrows? What? Guard, kind of readies his spear. Enough. You have no idea how horrible he is, the ruler of those men. Sweating visibly. Dark background, probably just reflecting on the fear that he's feeling. You have a vision of some sort of soldier, a knight, with scale-like looking armor, a serpent head with white eyes, some kind of halberd. That thing is beyond human. It's something horrible and incomprehensible. A creature from the very depths of the pit. No one can kill him, at least not anyone human. Kind of just rambling to himself, our swordsman's just looking at him. And then he goes, our swordsman, he says, I see. So that's why you made a dirty deal with him. How could you understand? A wandering vagrant like yourself. Kind of grabs his chin, the swordsman, the priest. I understand, says our swordsman. I know all about it. How he's a monster that eats human flesh. I know it very well. It seems, this picture here is, pricking. His his skin and like almost seems like he's getting chills. Like his hair is now suddenly porcupine-like. The way it's drawn. Very like it's all his hair standing up. You know, he has very spiky hair naturally, but this picture in particular. Priest ellipses and his men. Goes, the swordsman, and I know you that you continue to provide him with his meals. I passed him at the gates of the city. A prison wagon full of women and children. Grimaces. And then the mayor. The mayor wasn't a priest, a mayor. Wow. I am the mayor. It is my duty to protect this town. The swordsman, protect this town. Don't you mean protect yourself? Kind of laughs. Priest, you, collapses. My lord. Our swordsman here grimaces like. Our mayor goes, do it. Torture him as much as you like. I don't care. But don't kill him. We still have to hand him over to Coca Castle alive. Our torturer here, prison guard, grabs the molten rod and the flaming rod stabs him in the side. Prepare my carriage immediately. I'd best go to Coca Castle myself and beg for forgiveness. Boom, the castle. The Black Swordsman, you say? Yes, Baron. His sword was so big it towered over him, and he split Dean in half with one stroke. He dressed all in black and had a false arm made of iron, a real shady-looking guy. Ellipses. Would it be him? Like, thus, I'm assuming this, the Lord is eating the flesh here. Looks very stringent-y. My lord, what is it? That wretch, the mayor, is waiting at the castle gate. He requests an audience with you about the recent incident. I see. It's been a while, Mayor. How good of you to come. Gulp. Your lordship, I have come to ask for your forgiveness for this recent transgression. This was the act of a vagrant who is unfamiliar with our ways. There is no connection to any of the townsfolk. This Count Lord starts slicing away at the meat at the table. I'll give you double the amount of prisoners and gold from now on, so please. You look troubled. Unlike before, you're now worried about losing your own life, aren't you? Aren't you, Mayor? The visage of this man is now shadowed. His eyes blotted out white. His face shadowed in darkness. Bing! Flicks on his fork over something. Over to the mayor. Something plops in his hand. He looks. It's a human ear. Ah! Collapses on the ground out of fear. Gold, prisoners. I don't care about such things. Mayor looks at him. All I wish to see are humans within a fiery apocalypse, trying to escape. All I wish to hear is the sound of snapping bones crushed under the hooves of horses. Looks at his armor, I'm presuming. I don't need any excuse. None at all. He looks back, very eyes, evil, grimace, teeth sharp like a shark. Just grinning back at the mayor. The mayor's very shocked. Gets picked up by the bandits here, the guards. What are you doing? Let go of me! Let me go! My lord! My lord! He gets escorted out of the long hall. The lord is looking, face shadowed, and eyes white. Now he just kind of looks most likely to be a grin, and just overshadowing ellipses, and now his eyes overcasted over the castle, the town most likely, and the Black Swordsman, question mark. Meanwhile, drop. Huh? Where am I? I can't move. Just wincing in pain. Wakes up. Huh? He sees something, and it's what looks to be a fetus over in the hay. He looks over. Oh, it's deformed. It's monstrous looking. It's looking back at him. You again. He looks at it, glaringly. It's like, it's trying to crawl over to him, probably squelching on the ground. Getting closer and closer. Get away from me! Get away from me! Yells at it. Screams at it. Splash. A small footstep into the puddle. Glug, 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 glug. As the key. What's with that all of a sudden? You scared the hell out of me. You from the tavern. Hey, this water's kind of yellow. Don't tell me it's... Uh-oh. It's piss. He looks over to the hay and whatever was there is no longer there anymore. Have a nightmare? Wow, they really worked you over, didn't they? Well, rest assured, I gave that egghead guard a little something to sleep on. Wow, everywhere you look, you're covered in wounds. I told you should have listened to me and my advice. What'd you come here for? To repay a debt. We elves have a strong sense of duty. Looks at him, just smiling. Now let's see. Don't touch me. Don't you ever touch me. Yells at him, yaps at him. Our elf friend just kind of gets taken aback. Wonder why. The hell? I ain't gonna do anything bad to you. Look at yourself. You're in no position to give me that kind of attitude. Now be quiet and let me handle it. Stop. Looks at him. Our elf friend looks to be emanating some sort of pollen off of him. Some kind of light. Some kind of fairy elf magic. Huh? The pain. It's disappearing. We elves got all sort of powers. It's just kind of hanging up on him by the wounds. We can heal wounds, and we can sense people's emotions. We can even make people happy. Or at least that's what our troop leader said before he got his head cut off by bandits. Thank you. Huh. Ellipses. Say, what's your name? Guts. Why'd you come out to this town anyhow? Ellipses. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. Hey, what's that? This thing on your neck that looks like a crest or something. It's looks like a rune of some kind of etched onto his skin, like a tattoo. And it's the top sprongs out in 3 different directions, kind of like a crown. Wah! He stands up, or sits up. What'd I do this time? He looks at him. Elf looks back. Brand, says our swordsman. It's the brand. That's right, Guts, sorry. Guts says it's the brand, as he grabs back and holds it. The elf. The brand? What's that? What's it mean? Why? How'd it happen? Who did it to you? You, huh? You talk too much, you know that? You'll find out soon enough, he grimaces. Pretty soon, he'll come here to kill me. As well as burn this whole town to the ground. Oh. Elf kind of looks kind of to himself inquisitively. Does that mean it's those guys from Coca Castle? Or Guts grimaces. Elf kind of looks like he's exclaiming. You mean you're planning to drag the townspeople into all this? Or Guts grimaces, ellipses to himself, sits back on the wall. I don't care. Huh? All I want to do is find that bastard and kill him. I don't care about anything else. Lays back in the hay. Our elf is trembling, kind of gripping himself. Anyone who dies because they get caught up in someone else's fight is a small fry, who doesn't have the strength to survive in the first place. His emotions are pouring into me. My chest is burning. Someone can't live their life the way they please. They might as well die. Kind of looks off in the distance. Is it rage? No, it's not just that. It's rage, sadness, and fear. It's all mixed together, so dark, and there's something even deeper than that. Ellipses. In that case, what about when you saved me? Guts looks kind of surprised. Ah! He starts laughing. They just laughing, looking up to the sky. Idiot, who do you think you are? Why would anyone save you? To think I'd risk my life for a little bug. But go slams him into his chin. Yow! What are you doing, you little... Guts looks taken aback. Our elf here has tears in his eyes. Zips away. Hey, wait! Where do you think you're going? It's gone. Guts looks over the town outside the prison window. Doesn't see him. Damn, what was that all about? He sits down. The keys. Looks at his arm. It's kind of longingly. The scar. He grips it. He pulls back the skin, like pulling the flesh a bit. He's bleeding again. He looks off. He hears some noise into the town. He grabs the back of his neck where the brand is. It's bleeding. I've been waiting for you. He grimaces. He ticks his tongue out and he licks the blood from the brand that is now bleeding on his neck. His fire is burning. The town's burning down. Horrible. Our elf friend is flying overhead. There's townspeople on the ground. Everything's burning, and he sees the troop soldiers. There's people laid on the ground, and a horse's hoof steps and starts popping a dude's skull. And they're all trampling through, riding through the town. Arrows, people dead. Soldiers, clad in armor, push forth. Saw cavalry and just foot soldiers and corpses of civilians. And on the halberd is what looks to be a body, and take a closer look, and it's a body of a child. The blood is trickling down the halberd, slurping. The Lord, hoisted above, he's drinking the blood of the child. He's like laughing maniacally as the town burns. He's in this armor and has the fangs of, and he's in his armor looks almost serpent-like. That's not human. Charge, burn everything to the ground, he proclaims. The men charge in. Corpses already, pile of people, just dead to the ground. And suddenly, from this pile of corpses, it seems someone's rising up above it. A soldier. Huh? And in the pile is our swordsman, Guts, clad in his gear. And there's the pile of corpses. He's reloading loading up his crossbow here. He's on his mechanical arm. What? Under the corpses? Guts! Tum, 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 tum. He starts firing out, his determination in his face. Arrows bolting out, hitting a bunch of the soldiers into their just armor and vulnerable spots. Hitting in throat, arm, shoulders, chest. Just bolt being fired into these guys. Just tum, 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 tum. He's just grimacing, just gritting his teeth, is shooting relentlessly. What the hell kind of crossbow is that? One of the guys on the cavalry tries to charge him. Guts grabs back his sword and whips it down and slices the horse and the soldier in half. And brings his sword down, screaming, yelling out that battle cry with one arm. Tumbles over. The soldiers look at him just in surprise and shock and fear. Whoa! He's so strong, says our elf. Whoa! Guts is probably panting from all that effort he just had to exert there. Riding forth is the Lord of the Coca Castle, clad in his armor. Town's burning down. Long standing off between each other, the swordsman and the Lord. So you're the Black Swordsman, the one who's been hunting us apostles. I don't know what you hope to accomplish, but to think that a mere mortal can oppose us. Guts drops his sword and immediately starts loading more bolters into the crossbow of his on his arm. Is pure folly! The Lord starts charging him. Guts raises up his arm and starts shooting more crossbolts at him. The Lord starts charging him. Yeah, and the bolts are they're finding purchase and all over his chest, up to his neck, and even in his eye and his head, multiple shots. Just not missing. And he falls over to the ground. He did it! The elf exclaims. But my lord! The soldiers look. Guts starts loading more bolter loading more bolters, and slowly from the ground, the Lord starts rising up. What? The Lord, who's taken many bolter files, just stands straight back up. He's smiling. Guts looks at him, not phased, puts his crossbow up again and starts shooting more. Crashes back through one of the burning houses. He looks up, looks at his hand, and starts walking forward to the building that the Lord has now crashed through. Everyone looks off in awe. The elf zips up behind him. Guts looks through the door, looks forward. Ellipses? Looks around. Rapidly breaking through, a giant, enormous tail smacks Guts across through him and just carries him out through the house, through some of the rubble. Guts! He flies back onto the ground, the bolter being dislodged from him. Everyone's looking off, exclaiming. Hits his back, and blood spews out. Guts! It's futile. No matter how many bolts you shoot at me, a mere human like you can't possibly kill me. Now, emerging from the rubble of the house, some serpent-like, disgusting, grotesque creature, with a mouth and a tongue, merging forth. Guts looks off and, very, shocked, and he's exclaiming, looking at him, blood dripping from his mouth. And emerging is a snake man creature of some sort, with giant long claws, standing on all fours, while also having a long serpent-like body, and the head of a snake or a cobra, and looks like to be a human face in its mouth, with the tongue where the mouth would be of the human. I'm going to eat you. I'm going to eat you alive, boy. The men just look on and scare. It's a monster! And they start clamoring away. The elf starts screaming. Eek! He's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming! Guts grabs his throat, blood spewing out from it. Come on, Guts, look up, look up! What the hell are you doing? The serpent-like tail slaps Guts again into his chest, carrying him away. Boom! Slamming into a wall. Blood spewing out from his mouth. Guts! Boom! Another tail attack, slamming Guts again into his chest and stomach. He looks just very distraught, very much in pain. Spews out blood and slams his face into the ground. Exclamation point. The elf friend is just so shocked. Oh, are we still breathing, are we? Most humans would have had their organs crushed the first blow and be quite dead by now. But it all ends here, and the tail looks like it's descending to do the final blow. Slams into his back, and his eyes roll up, and his eye rolls up, and tongue is out. There's blood all on the floor around his face, and Guts! Oh, weak. How pathetic humans are. Picks up the Lord, this monster, picks up Guts by his arm, lifts him up. You humans are nothing more than food. Nothing but morsels to fill our stomachs. Food should learn to act like food and... Ellipses, exclamation point, question mark. The Lord looks as Guts lifts his arm, the metallic arm, up to his face and grimaces. He's gritting on some sort of wire, some string, and grabs hold, bites down, and pulls. Ka-chink. The arm opens up, and it seems to be some sort of device. It looks to be a gun, a cannon of some sort, and just completely shreds apart the Lord's face, just blows it away. There's this explosion while he's dangling on him. And he gets thrown back, dropped. The elf looks at him, and there's smoke spewing from the arm, flame and just residues. The creature reels back, probably screeching or something. And he's scrambling at the face that he once had. Guts quickly reaches back. Not even reaches back. He runs to his sword, picks it up. He grabs it. He starts dragging it on the ground. And just whips it around and cleanly cuts this monster in two. Intestines, organs just spew out as he tumbles over and collapses to the ground. Guts! Guts! The elf walks over. Huh? Guts stands up. Just staggeredly stands up. He looks forward. His eyes are determined. Just completely developed by, the killing sensation against fighting this monster. Blood all over his face. He's just... the monster is writhing in pain. The elf looks forward and just, looks on and in shock and probably sadness. Yeah, ew, it's still alive. I feel sick. Hey, don't die on me yet. Guts picks up his crossbow and steps on its head and puts the crossbow to his head, grimacing, his face shadowed and his eye blinding white. Chung, 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 chung. Yeah, please stop, please. More bolts start raining into the skull and all over its upper body. Didn't you say it doesn't matter how many bolts I shoot at you? Must be rough being unkillable and all. Starts loading more bolters. Like you said, humans are weak. We die easily, but no matter how weak we are, even if we're being chopped up or bits to stab to death, we still want to live. Kind of has a grimace on his face, just kind of pitying and obviously sarcastically bringing up how weak he was earlier. I'm gonna give you a little taste of what it's like. Stop! Shoots more bolts into him. Now Guts grimacingly, evilly, just like the Count was earlier. The Lord. Screaming, just writhing in pain. Ellipses. The elf is just shocked by this transaction. It's just, he beat him, but it's going like this is just pure evil, right? Who are you? The blood. The brand. The Lord sees it. That mark, it's the brand of the sacrifice. You are... Guts asks, the God Hand. Where are the 5 members of the God Hand? He looks down glaringly at him. That is... Another bolt right into his eye. I don't know where they are. It's not for apostles such as I to know. Just writhing in pain, grabbing his, his body. I'm telling you the truth. Guts turns around. Take your time and savor it, as your body is slowly burned to ashes. That's the awning of the house kind of just collapses on him. As the rubble is now on top of him, the weight of the building, and all the fire is now on top of this Lord here, this monster. Please, I don't want to die. Wait, help me. He's burning alive, just sitting there burning, writhing in pain. Our elf friend is grabbing his ears, crying in pain, as, he can feel the suffering of the monster. Guts gets his cape, rides it on. He just very shocking pain and fearful and anger in his face, just like all these emotions. He presses on. He sheaths his sword and walks away from the burning rubble. And his eyes fit in black, and his eye pure white. Berserk, name drop. Our elf friend is berserk and looks at him as you see just a sea of corpses, and the town is burning. There's fire And he just walks off into the distance. The Black Swordsman. End. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the first episode of Berserk. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know, what was your favorite part of the first episode? Mine, for me, I think was Guts rising out of the pile of corpses to start shooting at the soldiers and the Lord. But anyway, stay tuned for more of these episode at a time. I'll try to voice act them, make it as, immersive as possible. But yeah, feel free to let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.